Hey! Hi, everybody, and welcome to Tuesday Talks with my friend Jacy, Moonspirit, and myself, Spirit Soaring. Um, we really get frustrated sometimes because we try to figure out what to talk to you guys about that's relevant, that actually stands up in today's society with some, some gusto. We feel we have feelings for you because you're stuck, and those feelings are frustration. Okay, and I do this to JC from time to time. I look at him and say, okay, so what are we going to talk about tonight? What do you want to rant about? And I did that to them today, and they actually came up with some really good stuff.
Don't they always?
Because they do. Because when I put them on the spot, they are who they are, and they are very eloquent in their statements. So I'm going to let them talk. And blessing is on you.
He sets me up like I'm some monster.
No,
Just
no,
gonna
no.
come in, excuse me. But I do have some feelings. I have a lot of feelings, and this is a safe space to talk about our feelings, guys. So guess what? We're gonna get into it. First things first. There was something that happened today that I think is silly, and so I'm gonna laugh at it because they had a hard time finding the humor. I want to talk to you about finding humor, but I want to talk to you about finding humor in really weird ways because, as we know, the creator has to have a sense of humor for two reasons:
We're idiots.
sheeple and the platypus. So I'll start with the latter because people seem to understand what a platypus is a little more than when I say sheeple. A platypus is like a duck, but it's not a duck. And it's like an otter, but it's not an otter. And it's a mammal that lays eggs. And that's just weird. That's just really weird. But when I say to a sheeple, hey, that fence post is like a really bad stake in your backside, isn't it? They look at me like I've got three heads.
Yeah.
I'm a two-spirit. I don't have three heads.
Just two.
Just two. I'm of two minds about just everything. And on the one side, I'm like, I could get really upset about this. But also, I can laugh with you. I could laugh at you. But I feel bad for you sometimes. So I wanted to help you find some humor in the things I say because I don't know why I have to be relatable to you, but I'm trying. You don't understand what I'm saying half the time, so I have to find new ways to explain it to you. We got as far today in our rant to discuss the laws of physics. We got so far to the laws of physics discussion, I realized we've gone a little out of our way to make this really easy to get. And it's just not seeking in for some people. So I was asked before the show how I would help someone get off the fence post if they were just super recalcitrant. And I think the step I really needed to have in my lineup was probably find humor in it. Because people won't understand when I say, hey, open your eyes, see the reality of what's going wrong with the world, and understand that even on a microcosmic level, you do make an impact. If I say that every day, like Spirit Soaring says that, and people just kind of say, could you just not? It's a little weird, gives us kind of funny feelings. I would say to them, that's the point. But not a lot of people will chuckle at that. I would chuckle at that because I'm that kind of a person. I laugh when people make me think of things differently because I'm like, I could have done that. That would have been so simple.
Right.
But it's not the way that the world works. We are all different people, and that's a good thing because at the root of what we've been trying to say is we're all connected to the same source of divine creation. So if we're all different and we can all still be connected, then we can all say the same things as many times as we have to for people to actually understand what we're saying and get us off the fence posts.
Yeah.
Because they're like really bad, splintery stakes in the backside. When you look at the positive and negative effects of staying stuck in a situation you know isn't doing you any good.
At this point, those stuck on the fence post have become an unbearable weight.
Right, because we look at that and we're like, we are trying to pull you off of the fence post. And you are digging your heels in. So at this point, I have to just stop. to a certain degree. I have to make information accessible. I just may not necessarily be delivering it to you personally.
Because there's a point past which your efforts are worth it.
Exactly.
If your efforts are draining you to the point of exhaustion and weakened immune system, then you need to give up the ghost on that person. You need to cut ties and run. Maybe they'll get the picture when they see your dust
Mhm.
on the horizon.
That's
You know?
called making a boundary because you have to take care of yourself. It's not my job to save the world. It isn't. I promise it's not. I like to pretend sometimes.
And those we choose to insist on forward momentum, those we choose to try to help, we've chosen to help because it matters.
Mm-hmm.
Not to the world at large, but to us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I tend to bite off more than I can chew because I'm capable of chewing it down. I choose to pay attention to what's going on in the world and to try to help people not sit on their hats.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That's my new euphemism for crown and root syndrome.
Mm.
Okay? And it works to a degree. You know, a lot of people are still getting lost in the crown and root syndrome. What?
Right. I can't find the humor in this. Honey, it's not where your head is. That's not where your head's at. Your head's not in a place to be humorous. Your head's in a place to be distracted.
Fouled.
You want to play ostrich, but you only have so many ways you can play ostrich by yourself.
Yep.
The rest of us are out here enjoying the view.
Yeah.
You're still getting free smells.
So one way to put it. And see, therein lies the humor. But when you figure out what the people standing around you are laughing about, I hope, I pray, blessings on you that you can find the humor in where you've been. I did. Okay. I wasn't always so forward moving. I spent a little bit of time digging in my heels, spinning my wheels, as we are all wont to do. Jacy, luckily for themselves, ran into people that couldn't stand to be around people that had to spin sideways every day, so they fixed her.
Notice he said themselves, then her. I'd
Yeah.
like to point that out for those of you that don't understand what we're talking about. A two-spirit is someone who is born with two spirits in one physical form. This happens very often. It's called chimerism. It isn't as rare as we're led to believe. It's just that a lot of people don't understand and aren't brought up with the same teachings that I have learned in my walk as just a natural indigenous part of the community. This is my life. I have a male spirit and a female spirit in my body. And because I was taught to suppress so much so that I could stay on the toothpick up my behind that was that fence post, I had a lot of unlearning and recrafting of my psyche to do. And it takes a minute sometimes to
She
have to
says
break that
toothpick.
cycle.
I saw a telephone pole.
That was the gentle PG version.
You know that it's more like those giant. It's longer than a telephone pole. It's those ones they throw in the Highland games, the ones where the guys have to hold them underneath like this, and then they just have to chuck it. And the one that makes it the furthest wins the game. I had to take that post and throw it, but a field wasn't enough. It had to go over the mountain to the other side. That's what that was. That's what it took to get me off the fence post. But I'm off the fence post. And I'm a lot more comfortable back there for it. Just saying.
And see, more humor. And we try very hard to present what we present in all of our shows with a light of humor, an air of good natured positivity.
Mm-hmm.
Because we could be negative. We could be really negative. We could be hyper negative
I could be aggro hippie. You don't want aggro hippie, Jacy.
because we've seen what's going on in the world, and we chose to move past it. We decided that in moving past it, our humor, because laughter is, after all, the best medicine,
Mhm.
would help to heal you. We apologize if any of you have lost our humor in your fence post. It happens.
It does. It's
One day the
okay.
light of day will penetrate the fog and it will all be revealed. That's just a thing. The Creator bless you. We love you. Tune in tomorrow night for Witchy Wednesday, and my best friend Jacy Moonspirit and my better half sings with owls as they wow you with their witchy wisdoms, some wonderful humor, and some wacky tile work. Peace and blessings, everybody.
Peace and blessings, everyone.